Good morning, everyone. My name is Alfred Cromwell. I am the founder and president of City Tutoring. And I know that there has been some reform. There was a change in the way that the SAT is being tested these days. And so I've been teaching so many courses that I hadn't been able to actually have a look at the new SAT, but someone sent me a copy the other day and they warned me. They said it was supposedly it's harder. Uh, but let's have a look and see. I have heard mixed opinions as to how it's changed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do module one in this sitting and see what it looks like. And I'm probably not going to be able to. I have so many telephone calls and a lot of things are going on, but I'm going to try and see how far I can go and just kind of give you my impressions of it, and see if it's what people say it is, or if, as a mathematician, what is actually being tested. So I'm going to go ahead and share module one. They sent me a sample, and see if I can share that with you and just go through the problems. All right, here we go. Okay, so the first question says what I have here. All right, so apparently, so they start with module one, and they say that module two depends on how well you do on module one. That's supposedly supposed to be harder. Let's have a look and see what this is about. All right, so I'm on module one, start with question number one. On the new SAT, you are allowed to use calculators, they said, on all the sections. Okay, so question number one, what is 10% of 4? Oh, come on, 47, right? You should know, by the way, at this stage, that anything up 10% of a number like this just removes, if you have a zero, it actually just removes one of the zeros. So you have answer choice B, 47. All right, for some reason it's disappearing, but you can follow along, I hope. Let's see here. Number two, which equation has the same, oh, come on, this is a linear equation, 4x plus 6, so you subtract 6, so that has to be 18 minus 6 is 12, so 4x equals 12. Answer choice C. Let me see if I can refresh, because I want you to be able to see my responses. Hopefully now it'll show up. Yeah. All right. So that was answer choice C. The first one was number 47. All right. So far, let's look at number three. The cost of the total cost in dollars to rent a surfboard consists of, okay, so you have a $25 service fee. That's flat fee, right? So that's that has to be a constant of some kind, unless they say otherwise. And a $10 per, okay, every time I see per, I know it's going to be some kind of multiplication. A person rents, so they're asking me which inequality represents which situation. Okay, so you have a $10 per hour rental fee, $25 fee. You rent the surfboard for T hours. So that has to be answer choice D, right? Because it also says a maximum of $75, right? So maximum means that it cannot go over 75. Now, all of these choices give you less than or equal to, but the only one that represents that is the correct situation is 25. You have a $25 constant and 10 times whatever number of hours, which is represented by T. All right. So number four, which of the values is x squared plus 9? For which value of x is it 25? You can either solve it, but I mean, you could plug it in also, right? All of these values are x's here that they give. So I know 4 squared is 16. 16 plus 9 is going to give me 25. So answer choice A. All right. Number five. Each face of a fair 14-sided die is labeled with a number from 1 through 14 with a different number appearing on it. Okay, if the die is rolled once, what is the probability of rolling a 2? Well, I mean, you can only get a 2 once, right? And you have a total number of possibilities here, which is 14. So the formula works out, so it has to be A, 1 out of 14. By the way, I started doing this at 9:21 in the morning. I'm just going to put here the time. I'm going to write down the time and see how long it takes us to, let's see how far we can go. So that was number 5. Let's have a look at number 6. It says a printer produces what is it? A constant rate 42 posters per minute. At what rate in posters per hour does the printer? Okay, so there's 60 minutes, right, in an hour. So they gave you that there's 42. So that has to be 42 times 60. So I know my last digit is going to be 0 times 2 is 0. So it has to be 2,520 if I multiply. Right, because I carried over 2 times 6 is 12. 4 times 6 is 24. I carry over, it has to be. But check me. I don't normally use calculators. Find them a waste of time for these kind of things anyway, unless I'm doing stats. Number 7. What is the value? The function they gave us. Okay, so they gave us a function 7x plus 2. What is the value of f of x when x equals 4? Okay, so if x equals 4, you just substitute it. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 plus 2 is 30. Done. What else do they have here? Number 8, teacher is creating an assignment worth 70 points. The assignment will consist of questions worth 1 point and questions worth 3 points. Okay, so I already know I have 2 types of questions. I always look at your answer choices also to have an idea of what we're getting at here. Which equation represents this situation? So x represents the number of 1-point questions, and y represents the number of, so 3 times that. Okay, so it has to be D. Right? 3 times, 3 point is the second type of question, and the first type is just 1 point, right? So you just separate them, and it's worth a total of 70 points. So everything there checks out. Let's have a look at this one. Right triangles LMN and PQR are similar, well, where L and M correspond to P and Q. So M has a measure of 53, and they say corresponds to P and Q. Well, if it's corresponding, that means that the angles are going to be congruent. So they gave us 53, so answer already we know it has to be 53 then. Number 10. They gave us a system of equations. The solution is, what is the value of x? Well, they already told us that what y is in the first equation, right? So we can plug it into the second equation, 4x plus negative 3x, which is really just 4x minus 3x equals 15. 4x minus 3x is 1x, or just x equals 15, done. So far, it's not looking, I mean, I don't understand why. It looks pretty easy to me so far. Unless it's designed to be that way, module 1, but I mean, let's look at, okay, so they gave us some kind of scatter plot here. Which of the following equations is the most, it's asking the most appropriate for the scatter plot? Well, I know that if you look at it, right, it's going down. It's a downward slope, so it's definitely not C or D. Right? The slope is, remember, a linear equation is y equals mx plus b. The m is always the slope, and if the slope is negative, right? So it has to be either A or B. And then let's have a look at what is happening here. Okay, so as you can see, right, in the intercepts here, the intercepts are actually becoming positive, right? So the y-intercept would be B. So this is the only thing that matches then. So it has to be B. All right. Number 12. Which of the following is it's okay, so they gave us some kind of okay, it's a cubic function, cubic equation of some kind. So it says ax cubed plus b, a, b, c, and d are constants. Okay, for how many values of x does f of x equal 0? Well, that's just where it crosses 0, right? So you just count them. You got 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So 3. All right. Let's see what else they're asking me. 13. Where's 13? I had it somewhere. Okay, so Vivian bought party hats and cupcakes for $71. Each package of party hats cost $3. Each cupcake costs $1. They told you that she bought 10 packages of party hats. So party hats cost, so I already know that 10 times 3 is 30. How many cupcakes does she buy? Well, she already spent $30, so that's 71 minus 30. 61, 51, so it has to be 41 cupcakes. What else do we have here? 14. 14. This one says, okay, so it's a quadratic. It says which is one of the solutions to the, okay, so this I know you can factor this, right? So we can break it down into two parentheses. The factors of z squared are two z's here. And I know that positive 12 times negative 2 is going to give me this negative 24. So that's plus 12 minus 2. So either one of these then, that you set them both equal to 0. Z plus 12 is 0, so that means z has to be either negative 12, and then z minus 2 equals 0. That has to be positive 2. So either negative 12 or positive 2. Hopefully, right? Number 15. All right, every time they ask for bacteria, some kind of like, and they give you per millimeters, I know it, well, what they're getting at is that you know how to use an exponential equation. So we could do it that way, but I'd rather just, since it's a test and you're always pressured for time, I know that they gave me, it says it doubles every 3 hours, and they gave us a total of 15 hours, right? So we could do 15 hours divided by 3, because that's going to give us our there's going to be the doubling periods, right? So 15 divided by 3 gives us 5 periods. I'm just going to use PER. All right, so that means the first thing that they gave us was, if we know that there are 5 periods and it doubles, the first one was 300,000. So if we multiply 300,000 and we double it, we get 600,000. And then if I do this, so I take this number and I'm going to multiply that by 2. Right? I'm not going to write out 600,000 because you can follow along, but that's what I mean here. So 600,000 times 2 is going to give me, that's 12, right? Which is really 12 million. Right? But I'll write it out just in case. All right, 12 million. Right? 1 million, actually not 12 million. Let me erase that. I'm thinking too fast. It should be 1 million. 6 times 2 is 12. So it should be 1,200,000. That's what I should be writing out, not 12 million. Not yet anyway. All right. Then we're going to double this, right? We're going to double that. If we double that, right, that's 12 times 2, which is 2,400,000. And then I keep double, so I know it can't be this, right? Obviously. If I double it, I know for a fact that if I multiply another 1 times 2, I'm going to get more than this, right? I'm going to get 4,800,000. So it has to be D. All right, that's that. Number 16. Which of the following, which expression is equivalent to 6? Okay, so this is a polynomial of some kind or terms. They're expecting you, I guess they just want the rules of exponents. All right, well, let's count it, right? A 6x squared, y squared, that would give me 12x to the, when you're multiplying exponents with the same base, you have to add them, right? So that gives you your x to the 8th, y squared, right? But it doesn't give you this. So it can't be, it's missing a term, so it can't be a. 6x squared, y squared, well, this is going to give you 6x to the 6, which doesn't match with this. right? So it can't be B. And then C says 6x squared, y squared. So it's going to be 6x to the 8th, y squared, right? Because 6 plus 2 is 8, y squared. And then 6x squared, y squared, this term, times 2. That's going to give you 12x squared, y squared. Okay, so that matches. I don't even have to look at D anymore. All right, number 17. A neighborhood consists of a 2-hectare park and a 35-hectare residential area. The total number of trees in the neighborhood is 3,934. So they gave us this little equation here. Which of the following is the best interpretation of X in this context? Let's go through it. So the average number of trees, right? Well, it does say that the total number of trees is 3,934. So it can't be, if it's the average number of trees per hectare, and they want to know, okay, so it gave us here that it's a 2-hectare park. So this is a strong contender. But let's look at B. The average number of trees per hectare in the residential area. No, because it's talking about the 2-hectare park, not the 35. So it can't be B. The total number, no, because the total number, we said it was 3,934. The total numbers, the total numbers, it says in the neighborhood, right? So the neighborhood is hectare and residential, right? So it has to be A. Translate. All right, and there's nothing under. Okay, so the 18, they put it on the side, I guess. They wanted more room. Which of these which equation could represent the relationship? It says the graph shows the relationship between the number of shares of stock from company A and you have company B. All right, so my first point here is 0.40. And my second point is 60.0. All right. So that actually represents a graphic, a linear relationship. So if we plug it in, right, if we do 8 times 0, that's 0, 0, 12, right? So it doesn't really tell us anything. A doesn't really tell us anything. It would just be 0, 12. It would just be the y value would be just the 12s, right? So that doesn't tell us anything. And it doesn't match the graph anyway. If I plug in 0 and 40, I get a, let's see, 8 times 0 and then 12 times 40, or I could do 60 times, well, I could do 60 times 8. That's 480. Okay, so that matches for sure, right? 8x plus 12y. And so it's also a linear, because of the points here, it has to match, right? So that's why D is tempting, but it's actually a different sort of relationship. It's not showing you the relationship between company A and B, right? So you have to be careful with the points. All right, number 19. This one says a circle A has a radius of 3n and a circle and a radius of 129. Well, the area of a circle is pi r squared. And they told us that the radius here is 3n, right? So if we substitute, it's going to be pi times 3n squared. 3 squared is, which is really 9 pi n. And they told us now that the radius, circle B has a radius of 129. So we have to square that. So it's going to be 129 squared. And we're going to have to divide that by the 9, right? Because it's talking about how many times the area of circle A, right? So it's going to be 129 squared divided by your 9 pi. So it's definitely not these. And I know for a fact 129 times 129 is going to give me above, let's see, it's going to give me above 129, right? It has to be. Even if I divide it by 9, so it's going to have to be D. Okay. So far, I mean, it doesn't look impressive to me at all. If this is the best that the College Board is doing, then, oh well. Let's see number 20. The frequency table summarizes the 57 data values, okay? And it's a frequency table. What is the maximum data value in the, oh, come on. Are you serious? 14, right? That's the data value. That's the highest it can go. Wow. Are they serious? 21. 21. They're asking for a value of R. A circle in the XY plane has a okay, so they gave us the endpoints, and then they gave us the equation here. So, well, they have the same, the diameter here have the same X coordinates, right? I mean, you could do this with this equation of a circle, but why do all that? If you look for patterns, you have the same X coordinates on both. So that means that your circle is what we call a vertical circle, right? Technically. So if it's a vertical circle, you can find the center. Well, the center is the would be the midpoint of the diameter, right? So if we think about the midpoint formula, we take the first the X values, right, which is 2. So we're going to have midpoint is going to be 2 plus 2, right? It's x1, x2 over 2. So that gives us 4 over 2, which gives us 2. The second one is going to be 14 plus 4, which is 18. That's 18 over 2, which is 9. So your midpoint is 2 and 9. Okay, I'm just going to hit right here, mid 2, 9. Now the radius, right, you should know, but in case you don't, it's okay. The radius is half the length of diameter, right? So you can find the diameter if you take the endpoints, if you take the distance, right, the absolute value of the distance between the endpoints. The endpoints are 14 and 4. So that gives you 14 minus 4. So the distance between the endpoints is 10, right? So that's the diameter, so to speak. And the radius is half the length of that, right? So we have to divide 10 over 2, which is equal to 5. And that is the radius. That's what they're asking here. So we're done. Oh no, I have an appointment. This, honestly, this is looking like a joke to me. If this is if this is module 1, and this is the best the College Board can do, it's a bit concerning. It's actually very concerning. I haven't seen any question on here that anyway, I'll save it for another video, but in my next video I'll finish this. And let's see, we started at 9:21. It is 9:42. Right? So not a long time at all, right? I'll mention more things in our next video, but this is just, folks, this is just the idea of the SAT, the new SAT. And it doesn't look like a serious math test to me. Although to be fair, the SAT was not meant for a long time to be any like serious math test, right? It's not like an AP class. It's assuming a certain knowledge of basic algebra, but still, I have seen much better versions. And if it seems to me by this that the rumors are true, that the SAT has been dumbed down. That's a sad, sad day in America for education and for the watering down of our standards. Thank you for watching this video. If it was useful to you, I ask you to please subscribe. I haven't made videos in years because I've been doing a lot of things, but I'm back now in full force. City Tutoring is going to start offering courses, math courses, all the way from algebra all the way up to the college level courses. We are opening up a period now of enrollment. So if you're interested, you can email me My email is citytutoringmaths with an S, plural, @gmail.com. And our website will be up and running in probably the next week or so. I'm just designing a few things and getting things ready. But I look forward to your engagement. And I will be sorry I couldn't finish this, but I have a conference coming up and I have a speech to give on mathematics and the value of mathematics from a rigorous perspective. So I couldn't finish everything, but I think this gives you an idea. I mean, so far the questions have been a joke. And if you're a serious student, this should not be intimidating at all. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching and look out for my next video, please. Thank you.